Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
Okay.
sir.
So, all right. Okay, yesterday we discussed about some basic things about vectors. Addition of vectors we did not discuss, we just stated it. I want to discuss about equation of a line, but if you look at mains material, I think first 9 questions are based on collinearity and coplanarity, and that also very simple. From question number 10 up to 33, they're all based on dot product. Just have to know only 2-3 formulas in the dot product. Okay, and after that, we can do
Previous mains.
previous mains only. Previous mains only I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay, have you looked at the questions? Not yet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm saying that
Wait.
first 9. In that I'm saying first 9 questions are based on collinearity and coplanarity basics. Okay, question number 10 to 33 all are based on the dot product. Okay, so equation of line I want to discuss. In advanced material, maybe the order of the questions was slightly different or may not be in exact order. I'll talk about dot product a little bit and then come back to equation of line if required, or maybe I kept all the equation of line questions at the end. Okay, because we need other concepts also maybe. Then I'll discuss a little later. Okay, so I'm skipping equation of line for the time being. Come to dot product and then we'll see. Okay. So basically, I'm going to discuss about dot product now. Okay, if you see, concepts are very important, but at the same time, you have to also see based on that what are the different variety of questions. Sometimes there may not be too many formulas, only 1 or 2 formulas or 1 or 2 simple concepts, but there can be many questions routine or different. That's what I see in past remains in the dot product. Okay, basically you can multiply 2 vectors in 2 ways where the final quantity can come a vector or scalar. If the final quantity is a scalar, it is called dot product. Generally, we represent it with the a bar dot b bar. Because it is only a scalar, a bar is a vector, b bar is a vector, but this whole thing is a scalar. It will have only magnitude. And what is the magnitude is mod a bar, mod b bar, cos theta. If between a bar and b bar, if angle is theta, then this is the definition. It may not be important now, but it also can be treated as you take a bar and b bar and this theta. The projection of b bar along a bar will have some length. It is like mod a bar into the component of b bar along a bar. It is that also, but it can be negative. It is not just length also. It has a sign also. Okay, it can be positive or negative. If the angle between a bar and b bar is acute, it is positive. If it is obtuse, it will be negative. And then if it is the perpendicular, dot product will be 0. We use this formula for some in the beginning, but later on in terms of IJK and all, we'll be using more. But well, before that, if I want a bar dot a bar, that will be mod a bar into mod a bar, because their parallel vectors are same vectors, angle between them is 0, cos 0 degrees is 1. We will get mod a bar square. Sometimes you may find a bar whole square in some place. One may ask, what is the meaning of vector whole square? You should take it as a bar dot a bar only, not cross. If it is cross, anyway 0. Later on we'll see that. So a bar whole square means the vector whole square, which means a dot a, which is equal to mod a bar square. This is a very simple point, but we may use to derive some other formulas later on. And 2 vectors are perpendicular if only if dot product is 0. If they are perpendicular, dot product is 0, and if the dot product is 0, they are perpendicular. About acute and obtuse already I mentioned. So we use this formula quite often, that if you want to know angle between 2 vectors and somehow you have a way to find their dot product, it is a bar dot b bar by mod a bar mod b bar. You can even set cos inverse. So the formula for angle between 2 vectors is cos inverse a bar dot b bar by mod a bar and mod b bar. Okay, now one may ask how to find the a bar dot b bar if the vectors are given. So if vectors are given in IJK form, how to find? First of all, I dot I is 1 because this magnitude is 1, this magnitude is 1, and angle between them is 0 degrees. 1 into 1 into cos 0 degrees 1. J dot J is 1 and K dot K is 1. And I dot J, and of course, one more thing, A bar dot B bar and B bar dot A bar both are same. There is no difference. Whether you take I dot J or J dot I, J are 0 because they're perpendicular. J dot K and K dot J are 0. And I dot K and K dot I are 0. And of course, we also have some algebra properties of dot product. A bar plus B bar dot C bar is A bar dot C bar plus B bar dot C bar, something like distributive law. Okay. This is like commutative law. We have associative knot. We cannot talk about A bar dot B bar dot C bar. There is no such thing. Okay. Because A bar dot B bar is a scalar number. A number and a vector, we don't have any dot product. So we don't talk about associative law here. Sorry, associative law, yes. Distributive law can be talked about it. Now, if I have A bar as A1I plus A2J plus A3K and B bar as B1I plus B2J plus B3K. If I want dot product, I am supposed to take this dot this, this dot this, this dot this, all the 9 possible products. But this dot this will be A1, B1. This magnitude is A1, this magnitude is B1, and angle between them is 0 degrees. Okay, something like that. And this dot product is 0, this dot product is 0. And when I take this dot product 0 and next dot product will come A2, B2 because J dot J will be 1. And similarly A3, B3. All other 6 products are 0. Okay. So this formula generally we use if A bar is given in terms of IJK, B bar is given in terms of IJK, and ask angle between them. We use that. And if it is 0, if A1, B1 plus A2, B2 plus A3, B3 is 0, then dot product 0 means they are perpendicular. Okay, we have this formula R bar, any vector can be written as R bar dot I into I, R bar dot J into J, and R bar dot K into K. How to prove this? We can visualize this very easily, but before that, if I take R bar as Xi plus Yj plus Zk, then if you try to find RHS, only R dot I when you find it will come X, only R dot J it will come Y, and only R dot K it will come Z. You will get Xi plus Yj plus Zk back. So it is proved. Another to understand is these are all actually components of R bar along Ijk. If I have I, J, K and there is a vector R bar, if you imagine there is a rectangular box where the main diagonal is R bar, and by adding these 3 components, we will get that vector as a resultant. And the 3 components are these R dot I into I, R dot J into J, and R dot K into K. When I discuss about projections after a while, I will once again discuss about this. Right now, I'm just proving based on this. In fact, if you take magnitude on both sides, you'll get mod R bar is equal to square root of R dot I whole square plus R dot J whole square plus R dot K whole square. That itself can be a question. Very simple ones. All are simple points only. Just these are more about practice of questions. Sometimes in some chapters, I feel why to teach theory, just teach some questions because through questions everything will be revised. But in division, it is always an issue. Should I teach theory or should I teach questions? If I teach theory, some children will say, sir, we want more variety of questions. If I teach questions, they say, sir, we don't know the theory to do those questions. We're not able to follow. Okay. So that's the issue. All right. Anyway, mod A bar plus B bar whole square. The formula is mod a bar square plus mod b bar square plus 2a dot b. It looks like somewhat like regular a plus b whole square formula. But how this is derived is, we know that mod a bar square is actually a bar dot a bar, we discussed in the beginning. In the same way, mod a plus b whole square can be written as a bar plus b bar dot a bar plus b bar. This dot this is mod a bar square. This dot this mod b bar square. And this is one a dot b, this one a dot b, together it will be 2 a dot b. That's how it is derived. Same thing if you want three things. Mod a bar plus b bar plus c bar whole square means it is a bar plus b bar plus c bar dot a bar plus b bar plus c bar. And when you really find all the details, you'll get mod a bar square, mod b bar square, mod c bar square, 2 times a dot b, 2 times b dot c, 2 times c dot a. Now I'm just teaching, did not see the response. Are you able to follow, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, even though these are simple formulas, sometimes they can ask very simple things for some little indirect. For example, this is a square. It can't be negative. That means this will be greater than or equal to 0. That means this whole thing also must be greater than or equal to 0. So if you send these three that side, you are going to get a bar dot b bar plus b bar dot c bar plus c bar dot a bar is greater than or equal to minus of mod a bar square plus mod b bar square plus mod c bar square by 2. Okay, if somebody tells you, okay, mod a bar is 5 and mod b bar is 7 and mod c bar is 8, and ask what is the minimum value of a dot b plus b dot c plus c dot a, then simply substitute, you will get it. So we should know that also, that because this is greater than or equal to 0, this should be greater than or equal to 0. Based on that, we will get this. But sometimes we have to be a little careful. Let us say I'll give mod a bar is equal to 2, mod b bar is equal to 3, mod c bar is equal to 10. Okay. And they ask you what is the minimum value of a dot b plus b dot c plus c dot a. Do you think it will be minus 2 square plus c square plus 10 square by 2? Anybody want to comment?
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Mod a bar is 2, mod b bar is 3, mod c bar is 10 given, and the wanted minimum value of a dot b plus b dot c plus c dot a. Can I simply substitute mod a as 2, mod b as 3 and mod c as 10? I'll get a number here with a minus. That will be the minimum value. Can I say that?
No, sir, no.
No. The statement is nothing wrong. But if you say this is the minimum value of this, that will be wrong. When I say x greater than or equal to 5, I am not saying that x will attain 5. Maybe actual answer is x greater than 10, and I just happen to write x greater than or equal to 5. I'm sure you know in inequalities, what you get is not the minimum value, right?
Yes, sir.
Whether it is attained or not, we have to see that.
Here
Okay,
it is
now.
equal values.
Yeah. Why this is not attaining here is because this greater than or equal to 0 is not correct here. Anybody want to tell what is the minimum magnitude of a bar plus b bar plus c bar? What is the maximum first of all there? A bar plus b bar plus c bar mod. What is the maximum? What is the minimum?
15, sir.
Maximum is 15, sir.
Maximum 15. Minimum? Can it be 0?
0, no, not 0. Sure, 0, no.
Surely 0
Minimum
not
is
possible.
5, sir.
Yes.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum is 5. On a particle,
Yes.
I want to apply 10 Newton's force and 2 Newton's force and 3 Newton's force in any direction. If I want to maximize the resultant, I should take all of them in one direction. If I want to minimize, I think the two smaller ones you keep one side and the bigger one you keep another side. We'll be able to minimize it. Not every
Yes,
time.
sir.
Okay. So you can bring 2 and 3 on one side and 10 on another side. Then you will get 5. Okay. After that, anything else you move it in any way, you are only increasing it, you are not able to decrease it. So instead of greater than equal to 0, it will be greater than equal to 5 and you'll get a particular answer there. Okay. And if you take less than or equal to also, you'll get an answer. Okay. So depending on mod a plus b plus c is maximum or minimum, you can find a dot b plus b dot c plus c dot a is maximum and minimum. Okay. That is anyway very few cases, but in general, most likely a bar plus b bar plus c bar can be 0 for suitable angles. Then at that time we can use this inequality. All right. Anyway, just for clarity, just now I gave this 2, 3, 10. Let us say I gave 6, 7, 8. These are the magnitudes of the three forces. Is it possible that a bar plus b bar plus c bar can be 0 bar?
No, sir. Yes, sir. It's possible.
Yes, sir.
It is not that I'll keep 6 and 7 one side, 8 one side for minimum. No, then also you have some maximum.
Yes, sir.
In fact, you take only 6 and 7. What the minimum you can get? What the maximum you can get? Is 1 to 13. Okay. Within that 8 is there. So you keep 6 and 7 in such a way that your resultant is 8. Opposite of that you keep 8. Then they will cancel. You will get null vector. Whereas earlier you cannot do that because earlier your forces are 2, 3 and 10. 2, 3, whatever angle you keep, minimum is 1, maximum is 5. Okay, 10 is not there in between. So it is not possible that the resultant of these two can cancel out this. Okay, so in the case of 6, 7, 8, resultant can be null vector. In the case of 2, 3, 10, resultant minimum magnitude will be 5. Okay, this is a plus b. Of course, you can also have a minus b whole square. Wherever b bar is there, write minus b bar, you will get mod a square plus mod b square minus 2a dot b. You add these two, you'll get one formula. Subtract these two, you'll get another formula. Mod a bar plus b bar square plus mod a bar minus b bar whole square is 4a bar dot b bar. And when I subtract mod a bar plus b bar whole square minus mod a bar minus b bar whole square, sorry, this plus is 2 times mod a bar square plus mod b bar square. This is 4a dot b. Sometimes this is called parallelogram law. What you mean by parallelogram law here is, in parallelogram also one property is there. You take this diagonal whole square, other diagonal whole square. Sum of the squares of the diagonals is 2 times sum of the squares of the adjacent sides. Okay, it is somewhat like Apollonius theorem. Okay, because if you take half of this diagonal, you'll get this one. If you take half of this, you'll get this, and you can somehow find that this square plus this square can find some relation. Okay, Apollonius theorem kind of thing. So it's sometimes called parallelogram law for that reason, that this is length of one diagonal, this is length of another diagonal. Okay. Now, whenever two vectors are of magnitude 1 unit and 1 unit, and angle between them is theta. Okay. This is a bar, this is b bar. What is the magnitude of the resultant? There are two unit vectors at the angle between them is theta. What is the magnitude of the resultant vector?
Two plus 2 cos. The root of 2 plus 2 cos.
Yeah. If you use the formula, you'll get that is mod a bar plus b bar is equal to mod a bar square plus mod b bar square plus 2a dot b. This will be 1 plus 1 plus 2 cos theta. If I take 2 common, it will be 1 plus cos theta. And 1 plus cos theta, you can get 2 cos square theta by 2. So it will be root 4 cos square theta by 2, and that will be 2 cos theta by 2. But without all this, I can say from the figure.
Can take along the angular bisector only.
Yeah. So you just construct the parallelogram, and this is not just a parallelogram, it is a rhombus. Diagonals are perpendicular. This total angle is theta, means this is theta by 2, this is theta by 2. This is a simple right angle triangle with hypotenuse 1. This angle is theta by 2, means adjacent side is cos theta by 2. This is cos theta by 2, this is cos theta by 2. So this length will be 2 cos theta by 2. That's it. Directly we got the same answer. Okay. Why I'm talking about this? Let us say I have two vectors A bar and B bar. Okay. I want a vector along angular bisector. So don't think A bar plus B bar will give you a vector along angular bisector. No. If you take A bar plus B bar, it will be the parallelogram, the diagonal. But in a parallelogram, diagonal need not have to make equal angles with these two. So diagonal of a parallelogram is not necessary the angular bisector. If I really take a very slant lean parallelogram like this, you can easily see this angle is very small, this angle is very high. Okay. So don't think in parallelogram the diagonal makes equal angles. So A bar plus B bar is not necessarily the angular bisector of A bar and B bar. But if somebody says A bar and B bar, I'll give you find a vector along angular bisector. What to do now?
B bar by B bar A cap.
Yeah. If they are same magnitude, then A bar plus B bar is the angular bisector. No problem. Because if their same magnitude is not just a parallelogram, it is a rhombus. And in a rhombus, diagonals bisect each other. Okay. So mod A bar equal to mod B bar. Okay. And A bar plus B bar is along angular bisector of A bar comma B bar, if and only if A bar plus B bar is along angular bisector of A and B, mod A mod B must be equal, or vice versa. If mod A equal to mod B, then no problem. Okay. What if mod A and mod B are not equal? Then we'll make them equal in the sense that find a unit vector in this direction, find a unit vector in this direction, and then the resultant of those two will be definitely the angular bisector. So if this is A bar, only this unit vector will be A cap. If this is B bar, that is only B cap. Of course, you know A cap means A bar by mod A bar. B cap means B bar by mod B bar. Okay, so whenever you want a unit vector, not unit vector, sir, you want a vector along angular bisector, you have to take A cap plus B cap. You can also take A plus B if their magnitudes are same. Okay, that's good. Everybody clear about this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, but A cap plus B cap need not be unit vector. A cap is a unit vector, B cap is a unit vector, but by adding them, there is no guarantee that what the resultant vector you got is a unit vector. It is like asking in a rhombus, my side lengths are 1 unit, will the diagonal length will be 1 unit? No, need not be. Okay. So now, if somebody says along the angular bisector also they want unit vector, then they should divide this with magnitude of that mod A cap plus B cap. Okay. So first point I discussed is A bar plus B bar need not be the angular bisector of A bar and B bar. Second point I discussed is yes, A bar plus B bar is along angular bisector of A and B if and only if mod A equal to mod B. Third point, A cap plus B cap is definitely a vector along angular bisector every time. But if you want a unit vector along angular bisector, you have to divide it mod A cap plus B cap. But that mod A cap plus B cap is actually equal to 2 cos theta by 2, just now we discussed. So that will be A cap plus B cap by 2 cos theta by 2. So if somebody wants unit vector along angular bisector of two vectors, you can use this formula or you can use this formula. But sometimes they will give unit vector along angular bisector, they'll give one of the original vectors and they'll ask the other vector. Okay. Let's say this I'm going to call C cap. Now, sometimes C cap may be given, A cap may be given, B cap may be asked. Where is that? In your optics. Let's say I have a mirror. This is the normal. This is my incident ray and this is my reflected ray. Usually in any experiment, I'm sure incident ray you will know, normal you will know, and they will be asking about the reflected ray. So how will you find this? Okay. So now you can take like this or reverse. Now it's not going to make a difference because if I take minus, this also is going to change. But anyway, if this is my A cap, this is my B cap, this normal is along the angular bisector, which is a C bar or C cap. Okay. So if A cap and C cap are given, you have to find B cap. You send this cos theta by that side, A that side. You will get B cap is equal to C cap into 2 cos theta by 2 minus A cap. But one may ask, okay, I know C cap, I know A cap. How will you find cos theta by 2? Theta may be angle between A and B, but theta by 2 is actually angle between A and C only. So I can take that dot product. So C cap 2 times A cap dot C cap minus A cap. So if we use this formula, okay, then A cap is the incident ray unit vector along that, and C cap is the normal, then you will get B cap. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Anybody has seen this formula in your physics books anywhere? In optics?
Sir, did not complete. Means syllabus not our physics completely.
Ray optics is not over.
Yes, sir. Optics not over yet.
Okay. But ray optics, I think initially in what is it? Learnpedia, you were listening, right?
Yes, sir.
Means they told to listen.
They told to listen. Whether you listened or not, we don't know. Okay.
Sir, basics only we
We
listen.
listened, sir.
Oh, you listened already. Okay. Okay. So I hope everybody clear about all the things, especially about angular bisector. This formula I wanted to give, did I write somewhere? Yeah, I wrote this. Right, good. Okay, coming to projection, of course, component and projection, these words are sometimes they used interchangeably. Okay, sometimes they use scalar component and vector component, all that. But the thing is, let us have a vector B bar or A bar, and there is a B bar. B bar need not be, starting point need not be same. Let us say B bar is this. Basically, what is component is if you project light perpendicular to A bar, okay, the shadow of this will fall on this. Okay, that is basically you draw a perpendicular from here. From here, you draw a perpendicular from here to here, whatever is the vector in the same direction. Okay, if this is A and this is B, put of A on A bar is P and put of B on A bar is Q. Then PQ bar is called projection of B on A. But this is projecting the light, I generally teach to give an example, but I don't want to talk about it in a strict manner. You know why? A bar and B bar may not be like this. It may be 3D. Okay. What I mean by 3D is skew lines. A can be like this and B can be like this. You cannot project light like this and expect the shadow of this will fall on. No. Because the perpendicular from one end and the perpendicular from other end, they lie at different angles or different planes. Okay. It is a 3D way. So this is better. You take this tip's foot as P, this tip's foot on A bar as Q. PQ bar is projection of AB bar on A bar. Okay. Now it will have some length. It will also have vector form. So only the length is called sometimes projection and the vector is called component or something like that. Okay. So if you want only PQ length, it is quite easy because if this is B bar parallel to that, I'm sure I can draw here B bar with the same length, same angle, everything. Okay, same direction. And if angle between A and B is theta, by extending back, if this is theta, even this is also theta. So this is a simple right angle triangle. PQ length is mod B bar cos theta. And if I multiply A bar and divide with A bar, mod A bar, it is B bar dot A bar by mod A bar. Okay. Even here there is a meaning where it is positive and it is negative. It is not just length. Okay, PQ is like a directed line segment. It can have positive or negative. When you say positive, B bar is making acute angle with A bar when it is negative. Okay, so if you want only length in a strict manner, it will be mod of B bar dot A bar by mod A bar. If somebody says, I don't want all this, I want PQ in vector form. PQ is a vector, the component. Then, you know, the length, multiply the unit vector along that direction. And the unit vector along this direction is A cap. So, B bar dot A bar by mod A bar into A cap, or you can write A bar by mod A bar. Somebody can write this as B bar dot A cap also.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, it is B cap.
No, it is not B cap. B need not be unit vector. I can ask projection of any magnitude vector on any other magnitude, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sorry, sir.
Okay, here I am saying B bar is there, not B cap. But A bar by mod A bar, you can divide and say it is A cap, not an issue. Okay, similarly here you can write mod of B bar dot A cap. And coming to this is PQ bar in vector form. Okay, that is B bar dot A bar by mod A bar square into A bar. If you want to write in unit vector form, this by this is A cap, this by this is A cap. You can write B bar dot A cap into A cap. Either this or this or this. All are the component or the projection in vector form of B bar on A bar. We'll be using projection, of course, quite frequently, just like that. Lot of places will be using. Okay, this was exactly I was talking about when I wrote R bar as R dot I into I plus R dot J into J plus R dot K into K. That is because if I take projection of R bar along X axis, this is R bar, this is I, this is I. That is R dot I into I. This is a component of R bar along X axis. This is a component of R bar along Y axis. This is a component of R bar along Z axis. By adding the three components, I should get the original vector R bar. So I don't have to prove it. It is obvious. We are writing a vector as three components. That's all. Of course, somebody can ask, what is this? This is B bar. This may be little extended. It is A bar. They can ask, instead of asking component of B bar along A bar, they can ask this. What is the component of B bar along a vector which is perpendicular to A bar in the plane containing A and B? That is this one they can ask. From this, you remove this vector, you will get this. So it will be B bar minus this component, and that component just now we learnt B bar dot A bar by mod A bar square into A bar. This is called projection of B and not on A, on orthogonal to A. That way they should mention in the plane containing A and B also. Okay, so sometimes they can write this B bar as basically this plus this. So B bar you want to write as two components, you can write one along A bar, one perpendicular to A bar. What is along A bar is B bar dot A bar by mod A bar square into A bar. What is perpendicular to A bar is B bar minus B dot A by mod A bar
into A cap, sir.
No, it is into A bar only.
Okay.
Because I kept a square here, that's why. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. You can remember this or this or this, whichever way you want.
Down on it.
Okay. Of course, somebody can write this into A cap also. B bar dot A bar by mod A bar. I'm just saying, you want to write A cap, you write, but then this. Okay. I generally use this only. I don't use A cap. Okay, because every time we will not have unit vector. So I want to use this usually. But up to you, which way you want to deal with it. Okay, fine. So some question may not appear like projection, but it is. For example, let us say there is a triangle. A is there, B is there, C is there, and there is altitude which meets at D. Sometimes I'll have a requirement to find BD length or BD bar and AD bar. Okay, They're all projections only basically. Okay. If somebody wants BD length, the projection of BA along BC. So this BD length will be BA bar dot BC bar by mod BC bar with a mod for it to be make it positive. If somebody says, no, I want BD bar vector itself, that will be BA bar dot BC bar by mod BC bar square into BC bar. Otherwise, write BC cap and BC cap and don't write the denominator. And sometimes you have to find altitude itself in the vector form. AD bar, not AD bar, DA bar we can find. Okay. So the DA bar will be from this, you remove this. Okay. That is BA bar minus BD bar. And what is BD bar is this? That is BA bar minus BA bar dot BC bar by mod BC bar square into BC bar. Okay. So basically, if you want this or length or vector form, they're also based on the projections. Okay. Now there are a lot of equation of planes related to dot product. If I go synopsis order, I should be talking about equation of line earlier and now equation of planes. But in past year mains questions, I might have given different order. I prefer to go in the order as past year mains questions. Just a minute, because that's what you are practicing. Okay, so after the dot product, directly it went to cross product. All the questions I gave. We may have to talk about triple product also there. Okay, next I might continue go to cross product and then triple product. Then talk about equation of line and plane, including all possibilities. Yeah. Equation of line and plane, they did not ask so much in vectors, they asked in 3D. Okay, that is the reason I guess I kept all those questions at the end because there are very few. Okay, so anything about equation of line and plane, I'm skipping now. I want to tell everything at the end so that even in 3D geometry, we can connect it together. It will be quite easy. I'm going to go to dot product, cross product now. Okay, don't have to do anything. Just have a cursory look at these questions. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, by tomorrow, can you complete up to at least 25 questions? 30?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So up to 30, if you have any doubts, I'll discuss there. I think very simple questions, very quickly you can complete. Okay, cross product. A bar cross B bar. In the beginning, we talked about that when you can multiply two vectors, such that the final product can be a scalar vector. If the final product is a vector, then we call it as cross product. We write it as A bar cross B bar. And it is a vector. It will have two things. I should tell its magnitude also, direction also. Its magnitude, that is mod A cross B, is mod A bar into mod B bar into sine theta. And its direction, A bar and B bar. You can use some Fleming's left hand rule, right hand rule, something like that. I prefer screw rule. You put a screw here and turn from A to B. If it is going into the board, the direction of A cross B is that. If it is coming outside the board, that is the direction. So here, when I turn from A to B, the screw will be coming out. So that's the direction of A cross B. If in some other situation, A bar is here and B bar is here, then when you turn from A to B, the screw is going inside the board. That is the direction basically. Because of this reason, A cross B and B cross A are not same. A cross B and B cross A both have same magnitude, but one is opposite direction of the other. So this is minus of this, or you can say A cross B plus B cross A is 0 bar. They cancel out. The same magnitude, but in opposite direction. Both in dot product and cross product, you can say this, that mod A dot B is less than or equal to mod A and mod B. And in cross product also, mod A cross B is less than or equal to mod A and mod B. Of course, here equality will happen when they are parallel vectors, and here equality will happen when they are perpendicular vectors. This is when cos theta is 1, this is when sin theta is 1. Here theta is 90, and here theta is 0 for equality to happen. A cross A is obviously 0 whenever two vectors are parallel or same, because the magnitude itself will be 0. So that's fine. Little algebra I don't have to tell. For example, lambda A bar cross B bar. I can write lambda times A cross B. Or I can write A cross lambda times B. Okay. All are same. When you multiply the number, you can multiply the total product or any one of the individual vectors. You can also have distributive law. Okay, coming to this, we generally deal with the right hand system. When you take I here and J here, okay, or sometimes some people write J here and K there, maybe anything is okay. Okay, if I take J, I cross J direction is this, that is K. Okay, if I take K like this, that is called left hand system. We don't deal with it. Okay, if it is left hand system, I cross J will not be K, it will be minus K. Because at that time K is defined like this, but our I cross J is like this, so we have to call minus K. But in a right hand system, which we always deal with it, is I cross J is K, because when you take the cross product, it will come in this direction. So I cross J is K, similarly J cross K is I, and K cross I is J, cyclic rotation IJK. If we have IJK like this, you can deal with it. Whenever you take IJ, K will come. Whenever you take JK, I will come. Whenever you take K, J will come. If you reverse it, J cross I will be minus K, because B cross A is negative of A cross B. And K cross J is minus I, and I cross K is minus J. By using this and also using that I cross I is 0, J cross J is 0, K cross K is 0. If I want to take A1I plus A2J plus A3K cross product with B1I plus B2J plus B3K, then this cross this is 0, This cross, this will come some k, a1, b2, k, and properly write everything based on this. You will get basically k 2 times, I 2 times. You will get something into I, something into j, something into k. Instead of little difficult to remember, we always write in vector form. That is determinant form. You take ijk, a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, b3. I into what will come? A2, B3 minus A3, B2. You can see that actually. When you take J cross K, I will come. When you take K cross J minus I will come. Those two put together is this A2, B3 minus A3, B2 into I. Now, if you know that, just for the namesake, I'm revising. But this is, we may not use so much, but at least you should know. Let us say I have A bar is equal to X into L bar, Y into M bar, and Z into N bar. B bar equal to P into L bar, Q into M bar plus some R into N bar. Anybody want to tell what is A cross B going to be?
G cross.
Why 0?
No, sir, no.
Okay, I have to really expand, but multiply. This cross, this is 0. This is L cross M. This is L cross N. I have to write all that. Okay. I am going to get something into L cross M, something into M cross N, and something into N cross L. Okay. What is L cross M? What will come for that? XP. Okay. And minus Q. Yes. I will get XQ minus PY. Similarly, you can get here and here. That can be also written as determinant. Same XYZ. Same PQR. But earlier we were writing IJK. Now what we should write? Here we should write M cross N. Here you should write N cross L. And here you should write L cross N. Okay. The first one you should write cross product of these two, later on cross product of these two, not like this. Okay. In fact, if this formula we tell first, with IJK it is very easy because J cross K will write I, K cross I will write J, and I cross J will write K. You will get the other formula. Okay. So IJK is included here. But we don't use this very often. I can say in 1 or 2 questions we may need to use it. Otherwise, that's why some people may not remember or not aware of it. But how it came is simply we expanded. 9 things will come. 3 things are 0. That is L cross L, M cross N. Other 6 things, 2 to 2 things we combined, and we are able to get this. We may not use this formula so much. Whenever you want angle between 2 vectors, we generally prefer to use theta equal to cos inverse A bar dot B bar by mod A bar mod B bar, because A dot B's finding is very, very easy. A1, A2 plus B1, B2 plus C1, C2. But you can also use this formula mod A cross B is equal to mod A bar mod B bar sine theta. And you can write theta as sine inverse mod A cross B by mod A mod B. We don't use this so much because of 2 things. One is mod A cross B will take time to find. First of all, you use the determinant formula, find A cross B, and then find magnitude of that. Second thing is, it doesn't tell whether the angle between the 2 vectors is acute or obtuse. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where the cos tells you acute or obtuse. So this cannot differentiate between acute and obtuse. Because the theta is 30 or 150, mod A cross B is same. Okay. So because of that, these 2 reasons, finding mod A cross will take time than finding A dot B. And another is doesn't differentiate between acute and obtuse. So we don't use it. My video is stuck. Okay, fine. Many times we'll come across this, that I'll have a plane. I will need to find a normal of that plane. Okay. So let's say I have a vector A bar within the plane and a vector B bar also within the plane. I want a vector perpendicular to the whole plane. That is obviously A cross B, because that is the very definition of A cross B. The definition of A cross B is a vector with particular magnitude, but the direction is perpendicular to both A and B. Of course, it's perpendicular like this or like this, depends on the screw rule. But the definition is it's a vector which is perpendicular to both A and B. Okay, now if you want a unit vector perpendicular to this plane, just divide with the magnitude, mod A cross B. So we will be using many times. Okay, if you want a vector perpendicular to two given vectors or vector perpendicular to a plane containing two vectors, it is a cross product. If you want unit vector, divide with the magnitude of that. What if I have 3 points, capital A, capital B, capital C, and their position vectors are A bar, B bar, C bar? How can I find normal of this plane?
A minus B
Cross
cross
product
A.
of AB bar and AC bar.
Yeah, you join ABC, you'll get 3 vectors. You can take any two. Somebody can take AB cross AC, BA cross BC, CA cross CB, anything you can take. If you take AB cross AC, for example, AB bar is OB minus OA, you will get B minus A. And AC bar is OC minus OA, which will be C minus A. When you open it up, expand, you will get B cross C. Minus B cross A will be plus A cross B. Minus A cross C will be plus C cross A. And A cross A will be 0. Okay, so this is A cross B plus B cross C plus C cross C. So when 3 points are known with position vectors A bar, B bar, C bar, the normal to that plane containing those 3 points is A cross B plus B cross C plus C cross A, which came from, just have to remember only one thing, that whenever you want a normal of a plane, just identify 2 vectors within the plane and do their cross product. Here directly vectors names are known, but here only points are known. So, or even for that matter, I can have a plane containing AB and CD, let us say. You take AB bar and CD bar, take their cross product, you will get the normal of the plane. If you want a vector normal to the plane, A cross B, unit vector is this. Somebody can ask, what is the vector of magnitude k units and perpendicular to this plane? Take this unit vector and multiply with k, then you will get a vector of magnitude k units and perpendicular to this plane. Every time you can put plus or minus, because there will be 2 answers. One is into the board, one is outside the board. Okay, area of parallelogram and area of triangle, they will be coming in terms of cross product, for the simple reason that if I have a parallelogram, if this is A and this is B and this angle is theta, the formula for area of the parallelogram is base into height. Base length is A and this height is B sin theta. But A into B sin theta is nothing but mod A cross B. Okay, so mod A cross B will give you area of a parallelogram whose adjacent sides are A and B. Similarly, if there is a triangle where this side is A bar and this side is B bar, half into base into height. Base is mod A bar and the height, if this is theta, this is a right angle triangle, only height will be mod B bar sin theta. Together it is mod A cross B. So of mod A cross B. So area of parallelogram is mod A cross B and area of triangle with adjacent sides or any 2 sides as A and B is of mod A cross B. But if there is a triangle with vertices, position vectors as A bar, B bar, C bar, then like earlier I have to do cross product of the sides. I may have to write of mod BC cross BA. This side is BC, this side is BA. If I write BC as C minus B and BA as A minus B and expand, it is going to come of mod A cross B plus B cross C plus C cross A after expanding this. Coming to the parallelogram, this is in terms of sides. You can also have in terms of diagonals. Okay. That is because the diagonals of a parallelogram are A plus B and A minus B. If you call them as D1 and D2, and if you take D1 cross D2, that is A plus B cross A minus B. A cross A will be 0. A cross B will come with a minus, B cross A will come, they'll get added up, and B cross will be 0. You'll get 2 times B cross A, which is double. So when you take a D1 cross D2 with a magnitude, the area is 2 times area of parallelogram. So if you divide with 2, it will be of D1 cross D2. So area of parallelogram in terms of sides is directly cross product of the sides magnitude. If it is diagonals, cross product of the diagonals, half of that. But this is not just for parallelogram, by the way. This is only for parallelogram. But the cross product of the diagonals is for any quadrilateral. Let us see why for any quadrilateral it is coming like that. Of D1 cross D2. You take any quadrilateral you want. Draw the 2 diagonals. Okay, just for convenience sake, I'll take this as origin. I don't have to take it. Let us, I'll take this vector as A bar, this piece. This vector as B bar. This vector as C bar, and this vector as D bar. What is this area will be? Of mod A cross B. Because there is a triangle with adjacent sides as A and B. This will come B cross C, this will come C cross D, and this will come D cross C. I want to take in order properly. A cross B, B cross C, C cross D, and D cross C. When I add all of them, I will get A cross B plus B cross C plus C cross A. 1 minute. When I take A cross B, here also I should be taking like this. So I should be getting A plus C. So just like change. I'll do in terms of lengths than vectors. It is more easy to manage that. Okay. This is vectors also okay. Nothing wrong. I'll take this length as A, this length as B, this length as C, this length as D, and this angle as theta. Okay. What is the area of this triangle? Of AB sin theta. What is the area of this triangle? Of BC sin 180 minus theta. According to properties of triangle, product of 2 sides into sine of angle between them, which is same as the cross product anyway. Of BC sin 180 minus theta is also sin theta. You are going to get of CD sin theta is area of this, and this you are going to get of AD sin theta. And when I take off common and sin theta common, I'll get AB plus BC plus CD plus DA. If you actually factorize it, it is going to be A plus C into B plus D. AB will come, AD will come, BC will come, CD will come. What is A plus C? This total length. What is B plus D? This total length. And this is sine of angle between them. So what is this? This vector and this vector cross product. So of D1 cross D2, the cross product of the diagonals with a magnitude, it represents area of not just parallelogram, but any quadrilateral, including parallelogram. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Of course, there is something called vector area and the scalar area. I'm sure in physics, many places by now used area as a vector. You will take a sphere or some cone or something, take a small region, take that area as a magnitude, and then take a vector shooting out maybe as okay. So you're using many places. Okay. So earlier when I was adding areas, especially not just now, all these areas, I have to make sure that the directions are same. If they're not same, instead of adding areas, I may be subtracting areas. That's why earlier I had to write carefully. I made it to scalars. That's the only reason. For example, you may have a situation where you will know this vector, you will know this vector, you will know this vector. You want this area. If this is A, this is B, this is C, this area is of mod A cross B. And this area is of mod B cross C. Mod is okay. If you want vector area, this is A cross B and this is B cross C. Okay. If I take C cross B also, it may be area, but one may be into the board, one may be outside the board. When I add, I may be actually subtracting it. So I should make sure I go in a one order, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So if I go A cross B, I should go B cross C, not write C cross B. Even though of C cross B is also area. So when I'm adding vector areas, I have to be a little careful. So wherever you don't put mod, for example, if there is a parallelogram, if you want vector area, it is simply A cross B. If you want scalar area, mod A cross B. Similarly, if there is a triangle, if this is A, this is B. Vector area means half A cross B without any mods, and the scalar area means half mod A cross B. Okay, that is quite a bit about cross product. Other things I would like to tell, yeah, there are two more things better to complete them. This is called Lagrange's identity sometimes. You take magnitude of A cross B whole square and A dot B whole square. It will be mod A bar square into mod B bar square. Because this is mod A mod B sin theta and this is mod A mod B cos theta. If you take mod A mod B common, we'll get sin square theta plus cos square, that will be 1. Okay. So this is called Lagrange's identity. Sometimes they will give this and ask what it is. Out of these 4 quantities, they can give any 3 and ask the 4th one. Otherwise, not much of that. Another thing is this formula A cross I whole square, A cross J whole square, and A cross K whole square is 2 times mod A bar square. We may not use this formula so often, but it's also a formula or a question. How to prove this? If somebody takes A bar as xi plus yj plus zk, when you find this, you may get y square plus z square. A cross I, this I cross I is 0. This may come y into minus k, this may come z into j. When you find the magnitude, you may get y square plus z square. This may come x square plus z square. This will come x square plus y square. The total will be 2 times x square plus y square, which is 2 mod A square. But I prefer a 3D way of explaining this. If vector A bar is making with ijk angles alpha, beta, gamma, this will be mod A bar into magnitude of this is 1 into sine alpha whole square. This is mod A bar into 1 into sine beta whole square. This is mod A bar into 1 into sine gamma whole square. If I take mod A bar whole square common, I'll get sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma. In direction cosines, we study that if a line makes alpha, beta, gamma angles with x, y, z, cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma is 1. Based on that, sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma will be
2, sir.
2. So I prefer that way. But in vectors, we may not know that the sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma is 2 directly. Better to go for this. But you have an idea about how to prove this. Okay. Okay, I might have missed 1 or 2 minor points here and there, but in the form of questions, they will be covered. But this is the overall idea. Anywhere equation of line and plane involved, we are skipping it. Okay. So tomorrow I would like to clarify up to 30 doubts, and then I want to discuss about multiple, that is triple product and product of 4 things and all that. With that, the theory will be over. Then equation of line and plane will be left. If time is there tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll discuss that. Once I discuss about equation of line and plane, theory will be over. Then we can go and discuss 2 questions from advanced material. And in the meantime, you can complete the mains material. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.